This is gonna be a free form one, y'all. It's gonna be easy and free tonight. Welcome everyone to the Sickos Committee podcast. This is our podcast for Army Navy Week and a whole bunch of other things too. As always, I'm Jordan. Tonight I'm in a very good spot. I'm VP of being very zen tonight. I'm trying to find my nice zen. I'm looking outside. I'm looking at my dinosaur with the president in its mouth blow up that I like so much. It makes me so happy. And as always, I'm here with other guests and some other people, whatever you want to call y'all. I have Commissioner Escalante, I've got Pitt Girl, and I've got Beth. Commish, how are you?
Good. It's been a long day. I'll just say that.
Gotcha.
It was like an after school thing for the kiddo. It was a long day at work. Then basically it was a long day on the social media too. We released our poll today. Yeah, it got picked up pretty good. I feel like we it was a lot of like, hey, this poll is weird. It doesn't make any sense. Can you explain this to me?
I'm really glad you wrote that explainer.
And I was like,
to have just something to be like, here, read this.
Here's the explainer. It's very hard to define. We try to do it here. Read. Instead of me personally typing a whole bunch of tweets. As long as it wasn't like, this poll is awful, this is stupid, or whatever, I would respond in kind, like, hey, welcome. This is what we try to do here. Here's an explainer. Go right ahead. There's a lot of people asking, like, hey, I had a vote for this. Where is this? And then we have like 891 different entries. So there was a lot of control Fing on the spreadsheet to try to find the entries. It was a little bit of a long day in every single aspect for me today. So yeah, I'm gonna have a drink, and it's
sounds like
gonna be a relaxed.
Sounds like all four of us seem to have a day today.
It's gonna be a relaxing, and I'm gonna relax on this podcast. We're not doing too much here. Just gonna have a good time.
We always have a good time. What are you talking about?
This is very true.
Beth, how are you?
I had 2 juries today back to back, and I didn't die. For the non-music degree, havers, wanters, everything else, juries are the playing equivalent of finals. They're rather high pressure. You play before a panel of your faculty and try not to fall on your face in public.
I think it's just that I always went into juries as like...
What is a jury? I'm sorry. I'm a lay person here. Explain this to me.
A jury,
I don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all were talking about wine and stuff, and I'm like, you're talking about different types of wine. I don't even drink wine. I've tried. So you were talking about wine earlier. Explain juries to me, please, and everybody else on the podcast.
It's basically like a single person final. You go in, and depending on like if you're going to be a music teacher or actual like getting your degree in performance, you go in and you play a piece for your jury in front of either just your professors or maybe like all the women faculty, or depending on the school, maybe all the music faculty, just depends. Like a one-on-one final, it's kind of high pressure. I've never had high pressure juries because I've never been like, I'm going to be a performer. I get by with my bullshit charm a lot of times, and I play bassoon. It's always just like, I'm going to play something fun. Hope you all like this thing. And in grad school, especially, I was doing music education, but still playing in ensembles and taking lessons. And so my bassoon teacher, who is lovely, would find the most random pieces of bassoon music that no one, like, this was written in the 70s by someone who was doing tons of acid. You should try this piece. It's called like Songs for Spring for Unaccompanied Bassoon. I was like, hell yeah, I'll play this. It's like, do you have it?
That I sent you?
Yeah, just like awesome shit. And like, I was asked, like, do you have something like not on microfiche? She was like, nope. Guess you're gonna have to transcribe it too. Mine were always like fun and like very loosey goosey. I also always would dress up kind of goofy for mine. In the spring, I'd wear my seersucker suit with a pastel blue and pink tie and coming in my boat shoes and the whole thing. And I'd make a whole day out of it. I enjoyed it. And I don't like performing. That's the thing. I'm not a performer. I don't like it. But this was always a fun thing for me for whatever reason.
I am in deep admiration of the fact that it was just a fun thing for you. I find it horrifying. So yeah, and they stuck mine back to back. So yeah, so I went straight from my piano jury to my saxophone jury. Whee!
It also has that feeling of, because everyone sort of stands outside in a line, and you're standing there with your, because if you're playing a non-piano thing, you're standing there with your piano player, who also has other juries to go do, because you have to pay a piano player to play your accompaniment. You're standing there with your piano player. They're trying to like get going to their next thing, staring at their watch. You're going, I can't make this line move faster.
Yeah, they're always behind. It never runs as fast as it's supposed to. And you always get to have the fun of like, you're playing in a room, but everybody else who's in your area is listening to what's happening through the door.
Oh yeah, they're
So you
like
get to
ears to
walk
the door.
back through and everybody looks at you, and you know within about 2 seconds how well you did by the face of every single person that's standing in that line that just heard whatever happened.
Mm.
It's kind of like it's like what happened to A&M this year, like we all saw.
Yeah.
Everyone sees.
Mhm.
So yeah, those are juries. Now all I
Okay.
have are like more finals, and those are fine.
The only thing I have in my life that is similar to like a jury, I think I was in like 4th or 5th grade, and my best friend and I at the time we were in the Boy Scouts, and we wanted to get our music merit badge. Now we had like 2 months off in the summer to prepare for this, and we both get there and we play at the same time, and we both horribly fail, and we just both fail, realizing that neither one of us practiced, so we did not get our music merit badge. It led to my last fist fight. That was it. That was my last fist fight. Basically, we both lied to each other, and then we called each other out on it. And so we were 2 Boy Scouts that got in a fist fight in the Jackson Barracks in New Orleans, on this like retreat, and we got sent home.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful.
Tell me someone like broke a recorder over their knee and smacked someone
So
with it.
Oh yeah.
I was an alto sax player, and he was, I believe, just a normal clarinet, like not a, I can't remember what type of clarinet it would have been. I don't know. He had
Guarantee it was 100% regular clarinet. Yeah, I'm with you.
but yeah, it wasn't anything.
Nobody has a
special.
bass clarinet just sitting around unless they're me.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So
Well, also just imagine giving a 5th grader a bass clarinet.
I've done it. Don't
She
do
does
it.
that. Fucking Beth does that because Beth is fucking insane.
Yeah, Beth, are you insane?
A little bit.
All
Yeah,
of you
no.
psychopaths up in the Northeast that give like 4th and 5th graders like musical instruments. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey, you're 10. You can probably play bassoon, right?
God, oh my god.
It's fine. I have a fox in the closet. Like, it'll be okay.
God, oh my god. Oh
The
my god.
bassoon definitely isn't taller than you. It's
yeah,
fine.
it'll be totally cool. And like, I'll just put it in a little Protect cradle. It'll definitely hold it. Don't you
It'll
worry.
hold- it's fine.
I'm just waiting to see if I can give Jordan an aneurysm.
My eye is bulging. Thank you.
So I can definitely say though, like as I'm here, I'm getting yet another degree right now, and 39 is officially too old for this shit. This was a dumb and stupid idea. Jordan, why did you let me do this?
You seemed like you really wanted to, and I wasn't going to talk you out of it. You had a good head of steam going, and I thought I was pretty sure that head of steam would get you at least to the end of it. Also, I was on a lot of pain pills when we started this thing. I was on a lot of pain medication. So I
I'm
wasn't
gonna be
really.
on a lot of pain medication by the time we end this thing.
Mhm.
So, kismet.
yeah, you were
Also,
on
Pitt Girl is on this podcast.
Hello.
Hello, Pitt Girl. I
Pitt
think
Girl,
we
how
said
are
that
you?
already.
Oh, good. I was going to make a joke about how you remembered to introduce me this time, and then you didn't.
No, it's good. Having form is for podcasts that stay on topic and talk about specific things. And if we're going to be one of those podcasts, then we'd better get ourselves a
Different hosts.
yeah, not
Different
I had better
everybody,
be
I think.
I had better not be editing and or hosting this thing. Yeah, exactly right.
When you think about it, this is the most Sickos podcast we could possibly do because, y'all, there's no plan.
Yeah, I have a loose plan. I have some ideas.
We have an outline.
I have an outline.
Yeah.
The first thing I wanted to say is that tonight, after watching the Georgia returns, I want a big board like Steve Kornacki. I'll do a YouTube video next year, guys, for us. If we could get some money and get me a big board. I don't know what I'm going to put on my big board, but I want a big board. I want to be able to. I don't want to show film because I'm not good at breaking down film. I just want to like draw little things across maps and be like, oh, Georgia's going to Florida today, and I can draw the map. Like that's all I want to do. Really.
Oh, we can just get you a big paper map like the one that Bob Casey has when he and his social media team occasionally do stuff when he analyzes PA politics. He also
Done.
always got a PA local beer too. It's great.
I like that. Did you ever sing 50 Nifty United States when you were in
Yes.
elementary school? Okay.
Sure did.
When
Shout 'em, tell all about 'em.
yeah, and so when you guys did that, when you performed it, did you have two people pick to like point at a giant map with like a pointer as we sang the song?
No.
That was our shtick, was that there were two people assigned to it. You had to alternate because it's too fast otherwise.
Yeah.
That's basically, I can do that.
how it was always a question of like we had a very large map the one time that we did it,
Yeah.
and they picked the tiniest kid in my class to be like, I could definitely get from Alaska to Alabama really fast.
No.
Friends, he could not.
No. Yeah, you have to pick and
South
choose on
wrote a
that.
check that his tiny T-Rex arms could not cash.
The West is big. People don't understand how big the West is. And then
I
if you put Alaska and Hawaii to scale,
The ultimate thing to do with that, like hard mode for that, is to go to Pittsburgh and find the Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego US map and do it with that. Do
Was that-
15
was-
to
was
United
that in
States
Pittsburgh?
Cat Cowards. Sure was. I wanted to be on that show real bad.
I wanted to be on that show very
Same-
bad too.
same.
God.
same, definitely.
Pitt Girl, there was a
Definitely.
show called Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
I am familiar
was on
with the
PBS.
concept of where in the world is Carmen Sandiego.
I love trivia splaining to the person who's literally been on Jeopardy.
It's me. I'm baby.
So there was
This is probably the only place where you get treated like you're a 14-year-old is amongst us.
there was a group called Rockapella, and they would sing this song.
They were great.
They were.
The first thing I want to do today is I want to apologize to some Ole Miss and Iowa fans this evening. They took some strays on the timeline that I didn't mean to shoot. Fox Sports put out a graphic that said teams that dropped from the college football playoffs top 4 after championship weekend. And it asked a question. It said, which of these losses was the most confusing or most unexplainable? And it lists all these games where teams lost. Georgia loses in the 2019 SEC championship game. Georgia loses in 2018 championship game. Iowa loses in the 2015 Conference Big Ten championship game against Michigan State. And then the last one, 2014, TCU wins 55-3 versus Iowa State. They win the last game of the season, and then they drop out of the playoffs. And I respond like, isn't that... Which of these losses is the most perplexing? I don't know. Perhaps the win. The win is the most confusing one. And I then put a comment down going, you guys, if you don't remember, should go look at what happened at the Peach Bowl that year. Because that was the year that TCU got very angry against cheating-ass Hugh Freeze and Ole Miss in the Peach Bowl and beat them by a bajillion to 3 when Ole Miss kicked a field goal from TCU's 10-yard line or whatever it was in the fourth quarter. The saddest field goal you've ever seen.
Mhm.
And Ole Miss fans were like, wow, I didn't need this tonight. This was... I caught catching the stray. Then what happened was someone goes, when was Iowa good? I go, well, 2015 Iowa had a good year. They had beaten ranked Northwestern early on, ranked Wisconsin, and they just sort of floated up to the top. We kind of knew they weren't legit. They floated up, and then they lost to Michigan State in that really good Big Ten championship game. ... Oh yeah, and then they went out to Stanford in the Rose Bowl and got blown out by angry-ass Christian McCaffrey, who just ran over their asses. Iowa fans were like, wow, I didn't need this on my timeline today either. So my apologies to Ole Miss and Iowa fans that took those strays today. I did not mean to shoot those, but you ended up taking them in the side anyways.
It is the nature of being a sicko to occasionally have strays.
Yeah.
So I wanted to research that field goal that now Auburn coach kicked in that Peach Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
There was 7 minutes and
the
18.
face that Pitt Girl just made.
Yeah.
My God,
remind me.
podcasting, a visual medium.
Oh
I
god.
don't want to talk about that graphic they put up today. We can let that go. Let that go. So it was a 27-yard field goal with 7 minutes and 18 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What do you think the score was at that time? I'll give you the final score. The score was 42-3. Final score there. What do you think the score
I know what it was. So I know what it was. So I'm going to pass on it.
What do you think the score was when Mr. Freeze kicked that field goal?
What do you got, Pitt Girl?
Like 27-3 or 27-0, I guess.
Yeah, Beth?
I'll take 35-0.
It was 42-0 when he kicked that field goal. Those were the only points of the fourth quarter.
TCU had pulled everyone at that point.
Yes. And it was halfway through the fourth quarter when that happened. So,
yeah.
Yes. Sorry, Ole Miss fans. But he's not your man anymore. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Auburn fans. Well.
No. I mean, that...
Between that one and then me pointing out that in that Iowa-Stanford Rose Bowl, where Christian McCaffrey, again, did not win a Heisman and decided that he was going to prove that he was a very, very angry boy about that. The final score was 45-16. I'll ask you guys the question if you didn't see it. What was the score at halftime?
I watched that whole game. I never forgot that game. I know it was halftime score, so I'll just,
I know. Yeah.
yeah. I got that one burned in my head because I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Pitt Girl?
That makes me think that it was like close-ish at halftime.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll say 16-14.
Okay. Beth?
I'm gonna say 35-0.
Beth hit it on the nose. It was 35 to
That's it.
nothing. That's absolutely what it was.
I did watch all of that game, but I do not remember scores. So
Yeah, I watched. I'm sure I watched that game too because I always watch the Rose Bowl, but no details stuck in my head.
That's right. There'd be no reason to. I was actually shocked when I first saw that. But someone mentioned that the first Stanford play was like a Christian McCaffrey 75-yard pass from Kevin Hogan. And after that, I was like, oh, yeah, it all just clicked in my head. I was like, I remember how this game went. Also, the game that got the Stanford band pulled off of ABC because they started making farmers only jokes.
That I remember.
There you go. You remember the Farmers Only jingle.
I will defend the Stanford band and the art that they do. I will absolutely defend Scatterband.
You have my sword.
No, I'm not gonna say anything bad about
That
them. I
halftime show-
love that. I love them.
that halftime show may or may not have convinced my siblings that they needed to quietly make me a farmers only account because they were worried about how single I was at the time. I didn't discover it until I started getting emails.
Jesus Christ.
Thanks, Stanford band.
There you go. Stanford band is reaching out, making connections. That's what I'm hearing.
That's not an unreasonable strategy in the area of Pennsylvania in which you live. It's not the one I would pursue, but it could work.
It was instructive.
There we go.
Oh my God. Sneak profile making on Farmers Only. Jeez.
Yeah, they also made me a Christian mingle and a J date. Like we were
Oh,
casting abroad
Oh,
that
yeah.
job.
There we go. Yeah. To catch fish, you need to catch with a large. Yes, that makes total sense.
Oy.
Yeah. It's probably in the Bible somewhere.
And then a pandemic happened, and you met us instead.
Yeah.
Exactly what everyone had planned.
Yep. Totally planned.
Oh God.
So the World Cup has been going on. Shout out
Yes,
to
it
Morocco today. Morocco winning in penalties against Spain. That was insane. When I walked in to go teach today, and they had just gotten to penalties, and I turned it off. And I got there a little early to take care of some stuff. And my kids came in talking about how Morocco had won. I was like, you guys had, you were on your phones. You didn't see this. This score updated wrong. There's no way Morocco won. And they're like, no, Spain missed our penalties. I was like, okay, you definitely didn't update. Like, your app did not update scores properly. There's no way Spain missed all their penalties.
Oh God, did they? I think did he save them all?
Yeah.
Like the Moroccan keeper
Apparently
saved
so.
them all.
The new king of Morocco.
Seriously, there was actually a video of the king of Morocco celebrating in the streets, like driving in his like car or whatever.
Mhm.
Like they were driving him, and he was celebrating in the streets. It's a huge deal. I wonder if that'll help him get the World Cup. Was it like 2030 bid?
It's not the next. It's not the next one. Maybe the one after. Yeah, I think they're
So
trying to
2030,
co-bid
yeah.
with like Tunisia.
Yes.
I wonder if now they get to claim Sueda and
Fuja and Millie and Mejia.
and Mejia. Yeah.
We should explain for the benefit of the
Oh, for the
listeners.
benefit,
Yeah,
for
that's
the
true.
listeners.
There's
Every
there
podcast
are-
is someone's first.
That's right.
Ceuta and Melilla are Spanish exclaves that are on the Moroccan mainland, and they are somewhat controversial. I would say, broadly speaking, not quite as spicy as the Gibraltar debate, but pretty spicy.
No,
So.
definitely spicy.
Yeah.
Lots of like, oh, we're giving the fine. We'll give up the country, but we have these forts here for a really long time, so we're just going to draw a line around the edge of these. That is actually not one of those enclaves, but exclaves. Sorry, but one of the other ones, because there's like 5 or 6 that has the shortest land border in the world.
Mhm.
It is a little castle. And basically, they drew the border by shooting a cannon from it, and wherever the cannon ball landed, that was the line. And the border there is basically in low tide, it is an island, or high tide, it's an island, and at low tide, it's just like 20 feet of sand, basically. So there you go.
You guys
More
will be pleased to know that the Wikipedia page for Spanish exclaves in North Africa is a purple link for me.
Oh,
That does not surprise me. It does not surprise me.
she's all
That's
about
on
that.
brand.
That's why you're good at that what Redactyl or whatever that game is.
Yeah,
Oh,
God,
Redactyl's
that
delightful.
I love
game.
that game.
God.
I try and I'm like, oh my god, I thought I wikied a lot, but no, I do not. I do not venture out in many different areas of wiki. I am mainly just certain areas of wiki that I am all over the place. Which donate to Wikipedia. I'm just gonna say that. Give them like $2 or $3. Just donate to Wikipedia. It's worth your $2 or $3. Go right ahead and do that.
I will
Yeah.
never forget the early 2000s, whenever they did the broad survey of the Wikipedia articles and discovered that they had, on average, within a rounding error of the number of errors of the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah.
And the disparity of response between the Wikipedia people who are like, hey, we're doing pretty well, and Encyclopedia Britannica who are like, wait a second, we have errors? It was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Pitt Girl, there was this thing called Encarta, where you just have to put a CD in your computer, and that was your encyclopedia.
Mhm.
Because the internet didn't have one.
Need
No,
I
it was-
remind you all that I grew up in the ass end of Lancaster County and had dial-up internet until I was 15, even though I
Okay.
am now 27.
Shoot,
I
That's
did
imp-
not personally
that's
own a copy of
impressively late.
Encarta,
Mhm.
but
but I
That is
used
impressively late
Encarta.
for dial-up, honestly. That's impressively late.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's kind of the magic of Central Pennsylvania, is that we are forever 15 years behind wherever everybody else is. It's like Rip Van Winkle definitely took place here in just a spiritual sense, and we are
Nice.
all cursed to experience that, which means that I'm actually 15 years older than I supposedly am, and Pit Girl's like my age. So
Well, other fun World Cup stuff. Press F for Switzerland. They got Portugal today. Big time. 6-1.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oof.
I didn't expect that, but they had Ronaldo on the bench and seemed to unleash Portugal's attack a little bit there.
Yeah, who'd have thought?
No idea. Not me
The other-
hurting getting out of the bed in the morning at 41, so you know.
The other one that really was kind of... I'm a big Croatia fan. I like Croatia's national team. Like, that's always been one of my backup teams. Japan took them 1-1 to the wire. It looked like they were going to take them, and then just Japan forgot how to take penalties. Just opted out of penalties. It happens. So
yeah, I mean, clearly, because Spain did too.
God, that is so bizarre.
Well, Spain couldn't pass the penalties into the goal, so you know they're good at passing, but passing into the goal, that's pretty rough for Spain.
Their passing numbers are so bonkers. Like possession 75%, passes 700. Good
No,
God, guys.
they had
just-
over
they just
1,000
needed one of their
passes.
guys to go stand behind the goal and, just as a visual aid.
They could have
Oh, that's
passed
right.
it to him there behind the goal.
by
They
the
had-
end of the 120th.
They had I saw a stat on Fox. It said it was over like 1,036 passes completed, and they
To do
completed like
nothing.
90 some odd percent, and they only had one shot on target. But
They held the ball for 77% of the game and still did nothing with it. God, that is beautiful.
Spain was literally that Simpsons like GIF or like Arriaga, Bariaga,
Yeah.
Pizzota, and they're just he passes
Holds
it to
it,
the middle.
holds it.
He holds it. That's what they did basically.
This World Cup, especially for whatever reason, is highlighting those reasons of, I can see why some people don't like this. If you're used to a certain tempo of sport, I get it. I enjoy it, but it's not for everyone. Watching 120 minutes of people passing the ball that much and doing nothing with it, that gets frustrating. I understand.
That's the West Virginia football experience this particular
It's
year.
like, yeah.
I was going to recommend watching a Mike Leach offense, but
Yeah.
either way.
The ball
I'm
usually
so
goes in the
glad
end
we're
zone
keeping Will Brown.
as long as it, oh yay. Yeah, they are. He got the seal of approval from the administration. Speaking of coaches, they released the list of Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year candidates, and some names we expected on here. Sonny Dykes at TCU, Mike Elko at Duke, Willie Fritz at Tulane, which great. John Sumrall at Troy, Jeff Traylor at UTSA, and then Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, Lincoln Riley at USC, Kirby Smart at Georgia. Okay. But we wanted to talk about some folks that we were pretty sure they missed.
We have some internally. We have some really obvious answers. So
Yes.
Yeah, go for
Yes.
it. Go with your obvious ones to start with.
yeah, obvious answers off the top of my head. Lance Leipold at Kansas, Jim Mora at UConn, and the Sickos' favorite team's head coach Jerry Kill at New Mexico State. Come on, guys.
What Willie Fritz to take Tulane from 2-10 to 11-2 is amazing.
Yeah.
On the same level as getting Kansas to bowl eligible UConn to bowl eligible, New Mexico State to bowl eligible.
So this is kind of why I feel like we exist, because there's this top level media thing, and we're this weird below area where people don't seem to recognize these things that happen, or they don't pay attention because you're only focused on the playoff or the top 25 all year long. You're not paying attention to the entirety of the sport. And if somebody would pay attention to the entirety of the sport, again, go back to August and say Kansas, UConn, and New Mexico State are bowl eligible,
Yep.
and just look them in the face, they're not going to believe you. So these coaching jobs are absolutely amazing. Jim Moore did it while living in a haunted house. Jerry Kill did it while still not signing his contract. Lance Leipold did it again
at Kansas.
with
That's all you have to say.
At Kansas, them
And what we
tearing
found
down
out was
goalposts, I just crazy.
And what we found out was a very good Big 12.
Yes.
Not just like a trash ass Big 12 year where they get 6. No. This was a good Big 12 year.
And almost everybody in the Big 12 was, I mean, really within like 1 or 2 games of being bowl eligible, the entire conference.
I'm also going to shout out Kurt Signetti at James Madison.
Yes.
Who brought this team into FBS and ended up winning 8 games their first season, tied for the first in their division. Should have definitely been in that conference championship game, and not Coastal, who got their asses beat. I mean, those are the 4 off the top of my head that are really there. There are definitely some others.
I will say I'm glad Elko got recognized, because nobody thought anything of Duke this year at all. Like the way Cutcliffe left last year, nobody thought anything of Duke. And what Elko did, I mean, they're 8-4. Duke is 8-4. Say it again. Duke is 8-4.
It's bizarre. It's a bizarro world.
Yes.
I would have liked to have seen Jonathan Smith out at Oregon State.
Oregon State too. The Beavers were.
Like that was a really nice turnaround. They did some really nice things, and it wasn't just the fireworks at the end of the year. Like just improvement the whole way around, and that's a hard place to do that at.
Yes.
And they have half a stadium right now.
Right, exactly. Like, would you like to come and work in this construction site, please?
Well, I mean, San Jose State was used to that. But Washington's head coach, Kalen DeBoer, I mean, fantastic job there, too. So, I mean, there's some... I feel like they have to narrow the list down to 8, and it's tough. But we want to recognize those coaches. They did a fantastic job this year. Also, I want to shout out Clark Lee, Vandy.
Yes.
I know that 5 and 7, that's fine. Clark Lee, the long snapper touchdown. By the way, the long snapper for Vandy made the all SEC team. So the only long snapper to score touchdown gets first team SEC. Love it, Vandy. The vaunted Vandy long snapper.
Listen, Vandy makes offense wherever they can find it.
That's right.
I might also even... You want to talk about like a mainstream school that probably needs to have their coach on here? After the last couple weeks, I may put Shane Beamer on here even. 2 games isn't nothing, but those are 2 pretty big games. There's lots of arguments here. Like you said, they reduced it down to 8. I wish there were an award, and maybe like we can have this discussion next year where we talk about like an actual, talking to some of our media folks about an actual award about a coach who has turned something around or like created something where there was nothing or little beforehand. Because that kind of thing, like I'm glad Willie Fritz is on here. If Tulane weren't in the top 25, I don't think he would have gotten that attention. Like if Tulane had gotten to 6-6, which again would have been fucking outstanding from 2 and 10, I don't think he would have gotten that kind of coverage. Like while that's great, like we're talking about those other guys on that list below of there's just nothing here, and they're making these things happen. And so we're just really happy for them. I'm just happy that these guys are getting some notoriety, and happy to say their names out loud to make sure everyone knows these guys are putting in the work.
I'm going to put one more in. K-State's coach, Kansas State's coach.
Oh,
they were 6-6
yeah.
last year.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Kleiman. I think I said his name right. Or
Is it Kleeman?
Sorry.
Kleeman?
I think it's Kleiman. Chris Kleiman. Sure, that sounds great. No, but I mean, that is huge. I mean, they improved 10 wins. They went up 4 wins. And, I mean, huge improvement. And they won the Big 12.
And, of course, I have a memory longer than most football fans. So I remember when they were like, oh, we're going to get North Dakota State's coach. Oh, does he even know how to play football? Whatever. Like, you're fucking Kansas State. Let's not pretend like you've been here for a long time. You haven't. And 2, have you seen what he plays? He plays like you want to play.
3, North Dakota State. North Dakota State. That's all you have to say. That like you.
People get stupid about that for whatever reason. Like, oh,
yeah, people getting stupid about hiring FCS coaches is a pet peeve of mine, particularly during the Chris Kleiman discourse, because all that's saying, oh, we're just hiring an FCS guy, all that displays is that you know nothing about the sport that you claim to like.
You think that this is, D3 ball, whatever, as opposed to, Kansas State has gotten curb stomped by FCS teams before. This is not something they should be unaware of. They have those stupid games.
And I mean, not to get too feelingsy about it, but if nothing else, I hope that that's something that like this account and this podcast and other things like that really bring out, that the sport is so much deeper than who's going to win the SEC and who's going to make the playoffs. Like, there are thousands of storylines every single week that are compelling. There are players who are playing their hearts out. There is fantastic football being played at all levels. There are coaches who are doing amazing things with duct tape and baling twine. And using this space to amplify that is so important, because they tend to get ignored unless they can magically crack the AP noticed us list. Right. There's so much more to it than that.
Well, hopefully they can get a logo too in the poll if they ever make it.
One of these days.
You got to be in for at least 2 weeks to get a logo. That's how you know you made it. 2 weeks to get a logo
from the AP. That's right. That's how you know you made it. That's what we do. We find the unconventionally appealing thing, and which was great with the poll. There were some people looking at this like these, and then I saw there was a thread on Reddit, like RCFB, which I really don't go on there too much. But I mean, we have like a Sickos CFB like subreddit. I go on there and I look, and then it's over like 1,000 arrows up, and like people are like, what is this? What is this? What is that? And then I'm like, and then like other people not affiliated with us are throwing in the explainer to get more and more people out there, and they're understanding it. And then like what they've said, it's unconventionally appealing, and it's like we're getting the point across that it is the entirety of the sport that we love to see this. Like there was one person in the mentions as soon as we posted the poll, is like, I'm really upset at ULM's performance. They were in the preseason poll and they dropped out. And I'm like, we got to do better next year.
You found another ULM fan online. Congratulations.
I did. I found another one. I'm not just the internet's only ULM fan. So that's it. There's
my
2 of them.
Favorite version of Where's Waldo.
You're not going to find me because I'm going to be wearing the Duck Dynasty camo ULM jersey. So
you'll just see his head.
Jordan saw me wear that at the Texas game.
It was great.
It's wonderful.
Has been a bunch of coaching carousel news. There is one big one and one smaller one today. UNLV said that they're hiring Barry Odom. Odom was head coach at Mizzou. This was their like big hire. You got rid of Arroyo for this. Okay, cool.
Why? Fine, I guess. He was fine at Mizzou, if I remember correctly. Not great.
There was rumors again for Dion at UNLV. I was like, yes, let's do this. Then there was like short rumors of Coach O at UNLV.
Bad fucking idea. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
The worst fucking idea I've ever heard.
I was like, yes, please. We're going to put all the crazy stuff that happened at LSU in the past. I don't want to minimize what happened with all the Title IX and all that. I don't want to do that. I just want to stay on the surface here. But Coach O in Sin City, oh my God.
I was talking... Go ahead.
I don't want to get too Beverly Hillbillies about this. I'm just imagining him showing up with a kick net to catch crawdads and like looking around Las Vegas like, where do I, like the Bellagio fountain maybe? I don't know.
We're going to go down there to the Bellagio. They got a good buffet. I'll get you comped.
God, the amount of comps that man would pick up.
I didn't know that I wanted this, but now it's the only thing that I want in the world.
Man, you see that Luxor? That Luxor got a pyramid, and it got the light coming out the top.
I can't imagine.
Have any of you guys ever stayed in the Luxor?
I've been in. They have the elevators are freaky.
The inclinators.
Yeah, because they go at an angle.
Yeah, they go at an angle up in the corners.
The axes. Yeah.
So the Luxor has the pyramid, and then there also is like a typical box-shaped hotel behind that. Mm-hmm. On my honeymoon, we stayed in the pyramid. Y'all, I hit my head on that window so many times. I'm like, let's look outside. Wham! Hey, is that a bird? Whack! It was so bad. I cannot be trusted in anything without like normal box-shaped walls. Apparently, like I
Good to
don't perceive
good to
space.
know.
Yeah, like I'm like a bird. It's so bad.
We'll just put
We
little
were-
stickers on the window next time.
Ugh.
We were leaving, and I was looking at the window, and there's just like my face prints all over it. It's so terrible. Mike's husband's like, "Where you want to go?" I'm like, "I don't know. I have a concussion."
Oh my God. The only hotel I've stayed at is Excalibur, and I think Coach O would really like Excalibur.
Oh,
I think
Oh,
that's-
absolutely.
We're going to go down to the Excalibur. They let you eat with your hands.
I just imagine Coach O coaching with like double fisting turkey legs.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
Go Rebels. They go-
That would be the shortest tenure. Man,
The shortest, best tenure.
it's like those old cartoons where they have those giant powder keg containers and there's the little trail of like just a little bit of black powder and it's lit and you're just waiting for the whole thing to go. It's exactly what it would be. Because it wouldn't last 4 games or whatever, but it would explode in the most glorious way possible. God.
Just picturing Coach O as Wile E. Coyote.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's exactly what it is.
This team brought to you by Acme.
Meet me.
Congrats. Instead of that, you got Barry Odom.
Be excited, Vegas. You got Barry Odom.
That's gonna get everyone. We say this obviously. If he starts winning, who the fuck cares if he's fun or entertaining or not? I'm just not saying that you're gonna pack the Las Vegas Raiders stadium for New Dad. This New Dad is not gonna.
I mean,
get there.
can you imagine Coach O with Wayne Newton? Donkey Shane. I can't do it anymore. I'm cracking up too much.
He
No.
would have everyone there.
Mhm.
All the Vegas. Oh, it would be so Vegas. Most Vegas team you've ever seen.
How long do you think he would coach there before he had married his first 100 people?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Go-
he'd be doing there just at halftime.
Yeah.
On the field at halftime. Yeah. God.
Him and an
And-
Elvis impersonator.
and yeah,
That's
I was
so
saying
good.
he is the Elvis impersonator. A very late Elvis. A very late Elvis.
Late Elvis Coach O.
The other hire that got
Almost
made.
stopped with the impression.
The other hire that got made while we were it was right after we finished recording, or it was like close to.
Oh
was
God.
Scott Satterfield got picked up
Oh man.
out of Louisville going to Cincy. And it just so happens they both happen to be playing in the Fenway Bowl. And the Fenway Bowl is one of those delightful games where it's in a baseball stadium, so that means that both sidelines are on the same side.
Mhm.
And he's already said that he is washing his hands of this. I am not involved in either game. And I think this is the wrong way to do this. I think you stand on top of the green monster with a fucking megaphone and you coach both teams.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, like whenever who was the coach who coached by telegraph?
Oh, over at Iowa State. Yes, exactly right.
Yeah.
You should have
And
to.
Yeah, so what you want to do is you want to coach you want to coach Cincinnati using a telephone, and you
Mhm.
want to coach Louisville using semaphore.
Here we go. Just flags up there.
I think my favorite tweet on this one was from Jason Kirk of the Full Cast, and he's like Sicko chairman emeritus. He does his Sickos game of the week, but his tweet, it says, "Ending a year plus of I hope this place fires me because they hate me because I'm always trying to leave, but I accidentally keep winning too much to get fired. Game of chicken. By leaving for your own bowl opponent is a top 10 funniest coaching change in college football history, and that is saying a lot."
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's great. I'm surprised he isn't so pissed at Louisville that he did the thing of who was it at SMU that decided that he was gonna
Oh.
coach the bowl game. Like they hired him like right before it was like the first Frisco Bowl ever. They hired him right before the bowl game, and he decided he's like, nope. It might have been Chad Morris actually. This feels like a Chad Morris thing.
Was it Skip Holtz?
No.
No,
I don't remember.
SMU coaches. Let's see.
Yeah, 2017. I think we're talking about the 2017 Frisco Bowl. We are 2017 SMU Mustangs.
Was it Chad?
It was Sonny Dykes.
It was
It
Sonny
was
Dykes.
There we go.
It was Sonny Dykes. There you go.
Oh my God.
Yes, Sonny
They
came in
hired
and it
him
was like,
December 11th, and he coached the bowl game.
that's right. I forgot it was Sonny. He'd been at TCU as an offensive analyst because the year before he'd gotten fired at Cal. Also, remember that Cal fired Sonny Dykes.
To be fair, it was not really working at Cal.
No,
think-
not a, was that offensive pew pew Cal, or was that like defensive rock throwing
It
Cal?
was
Because Cal comes in
like-
2 flavors, and
Yeah, it was like not great defensive Cal, if I remember correctly. I want to jump back to the Cincinnati Louisville Fenway Bowl for 1 second
Oh, yeah,
because
go
I
for
would
it.
like to remind everybody that not only is this now the Scott Satterfield fight, this is a rivalry game and there is a trophy. They play for the keg of nails.
yes, one of my favorite trophies, and it has been dormant for at least a little while.
Yep, it has been on hiatus since 2013 because Louisville left for the ACC. It is excellent when bowl games bring rivalries back.
Are they
A
playing for the
plus.
trophy?
I really hope so. I don't know
That'd
that
be
we know
great.
yet, but they better be.
A little preview of our bowl talk eventually, but I also love it when bowl games bring back bad blood from the 1987 California Bowl that I'm going to do a fucking in-depth dive into. We're going to be talking about the 1987 California Bowl between Eastern Michigan and San Jose State in long form, and y'all
You
going
have
to
to-
fucking
yes.
love it.
You have to. How many times have you watched that full broadcast?
I
of
found
this?
multiple versions of the broadcast.
Oh my god!
People have put multiple versions on YouTube. I found the ending finally. The ending apparently is very controversial. I'm still working on it. It was a great
You're
game.
gonna have to buy that T-shirt from Home Field.
I'm going to.
You're gonna have to do it. The 1987 California Bowl, because it's the rematch in the Potato Bowl. I think I'm gonna do a bowl preview where I'll start rating things on their sicko-ness of the
Mhm.
actual bowl game, like sponsor, what you could potentially have dumped on you
Yeah.
if you win the bowl game.
Mhm.
And then we'll focus on like the matchup and then the history and locale of the bowl game. I'll start doing that. I may do that for a Substack post just to get something going on the Substack, since I don't have any basically weekly synopsis stuff with the crazy heavy alliteration that I was doing all year.
Here's my question at this point, and
Mhm.
that is, when do you think Scott Satterfield is going to move? Because Louisville and Cincinnati are not all that far apart. You're talking like 100 miles max.
Are you
So
kidding?
if you're Scott Satterfield, are you just keeping your house and like, listen, I just get out of boxes. Like, I'm just going to stay out of boxes and I'll wave at my neighbors like, goodbye, idiots, every day?
I assumed that he'd been packed all year.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah,
And he's already been living out of boxes because he was ready to go.
So he's been Holgersoning all year.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Okay.
done.
Except that's just how Dana lives.
Dana is like,
It's hard to
it's-
repo everything if it's already in boxes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Can't find it.
Dana-
Can't find it.
Yeah.
Can't take it.
Can't find it. Yeah. You want to repo what? Oh, my old bowling trophies.
Speaking,
Yeah,
speaking
they're
of,
over there in the boxes labeled kitchen. One of them.
Dana Holgerson is going to be hitting the casinos in Shreveport
Yeah.
for the
Oh,
Independence
yes.
Bowl. So we got some good stuff there, and
They're
it's
never gonna see it. They're never gonna find him.
Yeah. Keep in mind that Holgerson is keeping his bowling trophies in the box labeled kitchen, not not because he's trying to keep them safe, but because they're an actual kitchen implement as far as he's concerned.
That's a spatula. That's my spatula and my spoon.
Yeah.
And my spoon rest. I rest one trophy on the other. It is my spoon rest.
This is
Yes.
an excellent rolling pin if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you hit an avocado within enough times, you get guacamole.
trying to get an avocado pit out with the end of a bowling trophy.
I'm just
Is it
picturing
working?
him hitting it hard enough that there's like chunk of
Oh, yeah.
avocado pit
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah.
Shards.
Yep.
Shards in his guacamole.
I love
Yep.
crunchy guacamole. That's what
Me
everyone
too.
craves.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That's what-
gold flecks are what makes it taste good.
Yeah, what you want in a guacamole is a surprise texture. That's what makes it. What you want is to bite it and be like, "Oh, this is interesting.
Yep. Actual
This is-
texture.
This
Jordan.
This is toothsome. I want a toothsome guacamole."
You lose your toothsome guacamole.
Can you ask HEB for extra crunchy guacamole? I don't know. I gotta go ask them. Go past the coaching carousel. We have someone called the transfer carousel. Who the fuck called it the transfer carousel?
That would be me. Thank you. I don't know what to call this.
Transfer
Beyond
portals.
making the, yes, okay, yes, it is the portal. We are now thinking with portals, but like, I don't know, calling it portal season seems not quite right. We'll have to think about this.
Yeah, transfer carousel, because the idea of the coaching carousel is that you hop on, you spin around, and you get off sort of like at a different, almost like a different spot. Whereas the portal always feels like this transformational thing. You enter the portal and then you come out the other side. You enter as Auburn Bo Nix, you end up as Oregon Bo Nix, and life is amazing.
It's like getting an evolution item in Pokemon. Like
Yes,
you get
exactly
the
right.
thing, and now we got you the thing, and now you're an app. Now you're a Flapple. Like
Mhm.
you were a little apple guy, and now you're this big dragon thing. Like that's what happened to Bonix. So yeah.
Do we start Commish on Scarlet Violet, or do we need to start him further back?
No, I think we should start him on Scarlet and Violet.
Okay,
I
that'll be
have
fun.
That's probably the
again.
easiest
I
place
don't
to
even
start.
know what you guys
That's
are
good.
talking
It's gonna be
about. So
fun.
whatever. Okay.
Please don't hand Bonix a Sinostone. Just don't do it. It's a really bad idea.
Like I'm
Bravo.
gonna remember what that is. All
Bravo.
right,
Love that.
Just gonna
It's
say
beautiful.
whatever that means. Y'all can laugh at me. I have no idea what's going on.
We have some quarterback transfers that are interesting. Hey, Pitt Girl, let's talk about your new quarterback.
Yes, Pitt has at long last landed Phil Dracovic, which I am excited about. What?
It's like a fishing expedition. Go on.
Yes. Um, so his recruitment was going on, I think, when I was still in school, and it was a whole thing because he's from the Pittsburgh area and he went to
Yeah.
Pine Richland and he was the starter at Pine Richland after Ben DiNucci, who also went to Pitt and then transferred to JMU and then started like one game for the Cowboys. We love the Nooch. But he got recruited away by Notre Dame, and the people who follow recruiting on Twitter had the inevitable meltdown about it. And then he transferred to BC and was pretty good for one season and was for two. And he is returning to Pitt to reunite with Frank Signetti. It's been like 5 years, but ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Got
So-
him.
So I want to let you know that our resident Pitt pronunciation guy did a pronunciation of Phil Dracovic. So we have
put
a
it-
Pitt one. You're going to need to input that. It is in the Discord there. So
Got that.
plug that in.
So you and Sickos are nebbing about the Pine Richland boy, Phil Dracovic, huh?
I did not know he had so much Pitt credentials.
Oh, yes, he is extremely credentialed.
What is that like? Like you look at another team, you're like that is our quarterback. Why is he playing at another team? Do you feel like he's just like gone away on vacation? He's finally going to come back home? I mean, what does that feel like?
He figured it out eventually. I am not as invested in recruiting as many people are, and I am also not originally from Pittsburgh, so I do not have the Yinzer mentality about guys who played in the Whippeal, which is the Pittsburgh area football high school league.
Okay.
Yinzers are like, why don't we recruit the Whitfield like we used to? And it's like, well, number one,
Yins aren't going to get a good Yins aren't going to get a good quarterback unless you go to Aliquippa.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Number one, the population here is not as high as it was in the 70s, and there's actually not as much talent here as you might think. Number two, we're not attractive like we were in the 70s because the Golden Panthers no longer exist.
Oh, that's why. I thought it was all the
Yeah.
losing.
Yeah, it's almost like we did NIL before everybody else did NIL, and then it was not cool. So, yeah.
My favorite quarterback that I think is going to enter the portal and come out as a butterfly is going to be DJ Ungiagalele. I think that he's going to go west, and
Go
he's going to
west.
find a beautiful place to go play where South Carolinians are going to yell at him every week, and he will
No.
just find a wonderful, happy place in this world.
Definitely, he needs to go west. I think we're speculating like he's going to UCLA because I think DTR is done. So why not just continue the acronyms there at UCLA? You know, you got DTR in UCLA, and then you'll have DJ in UCLA. I'm feeling Arizona State, but
Absolutely. That's what I was
but-
going to say.
but I just feel that I don't know anything.
I'm just glad that I'm looking at the list of a lot of these names of like quarterbacks who are transferring, and all of these are looking at and going, "Hey." For all of them, I'm like, just go out west. Like, go find a West Coast school. It's really just a lot nicer. I think we've all just seen like quarterbacks go out there and they just feel better about themselves. Just go and have fun out in the Pac-12, Mountain West, whatever it is. Big Sky, go to Big Sky.
Yeah.
Have fun.
If you're good enough to go pro, they'll find you.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't. It doesn't matter where you play if you're good enough to go pro. But if you're worried about an NIL deal, I mean, like DJ got the big deal with Dr. Pepper, which I mean, LA, yeah, maybe got more opportunities that way.
And of
Arizona
course,
State-
Big.
I
If they can
don't know.
find Joe Flacco at Delaware, go Blue Hens. They can do anything.
Yep.
and of course, JT Daniels, Beth is entering the portal.
Okay, so I did just get the show notes finally. However many minutes we are into this recording.
Fine.
An
Yeah,
hour
Oh,
into the
Pickle,
show,
that is violence.
I didn't do it. He did this
Uh-huh.
himself.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
I would just like to take this moment to read something directly off of the show notes for the listeners. JT Daniels' stat line while at WVU: 13 DDs, 9 INTs, the good score, finds a way.
I fucking hate that.
Jesus Christ.
You're welcome.
It's
Oh.
amazing how how you see the Fibonacci sequence in nature a lot of times? Or you see the golden ratio when you look at things in nature. For some reason, those two numbers come up so many times. And I don't know
weird.
what it is. It's just so weird.
It's just weird. It's weird how that happens.
Weird
Sure
how that
glad Home
happens.
Field never made a shirt about it.
No, didn't.
Oy.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out that's how pi ends. They're finally gonna
ends
get the
at-
end
it
of
ends-
pi. It's gonna end at 13.9.
13-9. Oh god.
I quit. Nature was a mistake.
Yep.
Like I'm done. Beth is like, I'm
Mhm.
out of here. So
In
the
all
thing,
In all seriousness, like I really hope that JT Daniels finds a really good landing spot.
Yeah.
It wasn't working with us. It didn't work at Georgia. He seemed like a really good kid. It's fun to watch him play, and what we had just didn't complement what he brings to the table. And I want him to find a spot. I'm thrilled that we have the transfer portal, so a guy like him who has undeniable talent
Yeah.
can find a place rather than just being like, well, I guess I'm stuck here and now I just sit on a bench and I go to waste. So, I wish him nothing but the best. Really
So-
cool guy. Hope it works.
so JT Daniels, he started playing in 2018 in college. So 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, this year 2023. He has 1 year of eligibility left, but he could get a medical red shirt. So he could still be playing in college in 2023 and 2024. So I don't know how many times he's transferred. It feels like 3?
It's 3.
Mhm.
3?
Yep.
Okay.
Because
Well,
it was
this-
SC. It was SC, Georgia, West Virginia.
West Virginia. So this will be the 4th school that he goes to.
Go back out west, man. You had it right the
Absolutely.
first time. His best year was his first year at SC. Like, go back out west.
Is there something that's nice and ready made for a pass happy quarterback?
There's
mean-
got to be some FCS school that runs air raid, or like some Mountain West school that runs air raid. Some of those places that have like those systems built in place would happily take him for a year,
Mm-hmm.
and you can have a
Maybe-
lot of fun.
Yeah.
I can-
and again,
I can-
like if you're good enough, the pros will find you.
So I can see JT Daniels staying with the same colors, but going
Mhm.
complete West Coast. He is a Cal quarterback.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I love this. So we have football this weekend. We'll start with our FCS ball. On Friday, 3 big games. Samford at North Dakota State, William & Mary at Montana State, and Incarnate Word at Sacramento State. Is Incarnate Word going to be under new management for this game?
No,
He's going to finish out the season there?
they say he's finishing out the playoff run.
Okay.
Cool.
So,
So that's-
GJ could be going all the way, but they got a rough one, and that's Friday night, really late,
9:30 our time, which would be
7:30.
7:30
Sac.
kick and 7:30 sack time. But that's
Yeah.
also on San Antonio body clock. So
Body-
you're
Body
going out
clock.
there and like all 3 of these games should be really good. I'm pretty sure that the Big Sky and the Missouri Valley are going to win all of them. I don't see Samford beating North Dakota State. I don't see William & Mary beating Montana State. Incarnate Word Sacramento State's like the closest one I can like imagine. That even that is like
Hold on, wait. So William and Mary is in Virginia, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and they're going to Bozeman, Montana.
yep.
Yeah,
Right.
that's correct.
Let's check the weather.
It's the same climate when you think about it.
Totally, definitely. Bozeman, Montana, Saturday. Wait, that's definitely not 74. That's still my weather.
Yeah.
Saturday, the high on Saturday in Bozeman is 30.
It's
So
balmy. It's balmy.
that's balmy. Friday. Oh wait, it's Friday, so it's gonna be high 24, 34% chance of snow, low 12.
Okay, and this is at night. Okay, so this is all of a sudden I'm getting excited about that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
For-
Samford from Georgia, right? Samford's in Georgia.
What, they're playing in a dome.
So,
Oh,
Checking.
okay, that's fine. You're still in Fargo.
For context, the weather in Williamsburg on Saturday is supposed to be 53 and cloudy. Yeah, Williamsburg is like far enough south that it tends to not snow, and it's also quite swampy. So
Ho-ho.
I have to
You're
say
gonna
that
have
flying into that area of North Dakota is one of my most favorite things because I found myself on a commuter flight flying in at one point, and everybody on that flight knew each other. Just a whole bunch of people that are just like talking, having a time on there, and like I got on the plane and the conversation stops, and they just look at me like,
Who
"Who
is
are
this lady?
you?"
Who is this lady?
And yeah, I was going to Minot, which I didn't even know how to pronounce at the time. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to Minot," and they're like, "You have no idea where you are, do you?"
You ain't from round here, are you, Beth?
No, very not.
You are the lone stranger that walks into the saloon in a Western.
And then
Yep.
everybody stops.
The piano
Yeah,
player just
yeah.
slows down.
Yeah, the second most friendly flight I have ever been on, definitely.
Was the first carrying your sword?
No, the first was my sister got proposed to on a plane, and United gave me access to all of the wine in first class to give it to the entire flight. Friends, let me
Nice.
tell you, if you want to make
Woo.
friends on an airplane, that is the way to do it. That is the happiest flight I have ever been on. Everyone wanted to talk to me.
There you go.
Also,
Yeah.
I now know where the wine is kept on every first class United flight. And I
So
can
s-
operate the PA system. I learned a lot on that flight. It was great.
Speaking of wine country, Sacramento forecast rain. So
Oh,
it may be
God,
another
again.
soggy Sacramento. It says Friday, high 53, low 46, 99% chance of rain. And then Saturday, a 98% chance of rain. So it could be another soggy Sacramento playoff game.
They're
And
gonna drown Incarnate Word.
well, I don't know. Incarnate Word loves to throw the ball, and so does Sac
Oh,
State. So this
that's
is
right.
going to be. This is a must see TV again. So we
Mhm.
may have a crazy snow game on ESPN2, and then on ESPN Plus we may have the crazy soggy rain game
Oh,
at the
give
same
us some
time.
Detmer fun, guys. That'd be
Yes.
fantastic.
It's only 2 games, so it's like half of the quad box. But you know,
Kamisha, quick correction. Samford University is in Homewood, Alabama.
I
That's on
didn't say
me.
that.
I
That
said
was
that.
on.
That was
No,
me.
don't,
Okay.
hey, don't give me that.
Sanford, okay, is in Alabama. I thought it was in Georgia for some reason.
Well, I mean, the
Well,
commission's in charge, so.
You're thinking. Oh, okay, it's all my fault. So I have to.
Yeah.
The buck
Uh-huh.
stops with the commish.
Exactly.
But Sanford is the stadium for Georgia.
Oh,
so there
that's
you
what I was
go.
thinking about.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. We're in between the hedges here. We keep it all together.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, don't tell her that.
So, there's hedges in Jordan Hare too. So don't give me that.
That's true.
On Saturday morning, we have Holy Cross at South Dakota State is our FCS amuse
Oh.
bouche, which ought to be a lot of fun because that will be outdoors in South Dakota. But
All right,
Holy
let's-
Cross is coming from New England, so the weather is not as much of a big thing for them. We've turned into a weather podcast.
Let's do the weather stuff because we don't have that many games. We got to get some intrigue going here.
We've always
This
been
is
a weather
true.
podcast. We give
Yeah.
out warnings and advisories.
It's
and
true, yeah.
watches.
That's. I mean, I did want to be a meteorologist when
Yeah.
I was
Mhm.
growing up. So
Jim
this is the way-
Cantori, come on the Sickos
That's right.
podcast.
That's right. I don't know. That could be a bad thing. So every time Jim Cantori goes somewhere, it's normally a bad thing. You don't want to see
Yeah,
Jim
if you
Cantori
see
in
Jim
your
Cantori
town.
outside, yeah.
You don't want to do that.
I don't think
I do love him.
that
though.
does raise the thing that there was some like flooding in Harrisburg a couple not this past fall but the fall before that.
Yeah.
And the Weather Channel came out and it was not Jim Cantori, but they had like off-brand Jim Cantori like standing on a corner being like, look how deep the water is. And I was
Yeah.
watching it because it was like flash flooding, everything was closed. I was trying to make sure my boyfriend didn't drown
Was
getting
that
back
like
from
up
work.
in
all that stuff.
was that like the up in Wilkes-Barre and they were wearing a helmet for no goddamn reason?
I would 100% believe that. I don't remember that part. But the part of this that I do remember is that they were standing specifically when they moved up towards the farm show. Pennsylvania Farm Show is the world's largest indoor ag expo. It's in January every year. It's the equivalent of the Pennsylvania State Fair. Beside the point for this purpose, the streets at which the farm show is located are a notorious low spot and they flood pretty much every time
Mhm.
there's a heavy rain.
Mhm.
I, a local, know this. The Weather Channel, not local, does not know this. And they're standing on the corner of Cameron and Maclay acting like the fucking world is ending.
And everyone else is just like, yeah, no, that's what happens to that corner.
Yeah, just sitting here like, yeah, mm-hmm. And then they like go to Midtown by Strawberry Square and I'm like, yeah, mm-hmm, yep, mm-hmm. Come back when Shipoke is underwater like it was in 72.
Oh God, Agnes references. Here we go.
So
What's our
speaking
weather in
of the
Brookings?
In Brookings, the weather not too bad. Just going to be freezing. High 37, low 20. Only a 14% chance of precipitation.
Holy Cross is fine with that.
They should be, but I don't think they're gonna have enough to take out South Dakota State.
I know. I think we're going to end up with a Missouri all Missouri Valley Big Sky semifinal, and then
Yeah,
As God
that'd be
intended.
as God intended.
definitely, because I wanted Montana State and Sacramento State to play each other this year, and that would have been like a perfect game day.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they still got the game day, but for them to meet in the semis, that would be fantastic. And North Dakota State and South Dakota State to meet in the semis, whoo!
Yeah,
I hope
that
that
could
bracket
be.
is correct, right? Is the bracket
I'm,
correct?
I'm trying to make sure you're right.
They wouldn't meet. They wouldn't meet until the finals.
Okay, so we could have a. Okay, well, if it's going to be a North Dakota State South Dakota State final, I'm
Yeah.
going to go to Frisco and just stand in the middle of it all and just go, "Hi, everyone," and hope things get thrown. It'll be a lot of fun.
Just wear yellow because they both wear yellow, so you should blend in fine.
I should be fine for that. That game is always the vibe around that game is always such a blast. I've never gone to it because it's always expensive. That game's like $120 to get into in Frisco.
Ooh.
So I never go to the game, but I've always hung around that game, and it's a lot of fun. North Dakota State always shows up. They always show up to Frisco.
What's the Bison Tracker, right?
Yeah. So
They do move in herds.
That's
Where
true.
is the Army Navy game this year?
I believe it's-
Philadelphia.
It's in Philly.
Sure is.
All right.
It is about half the time.
Yeah, when it's not in Baltimore, because they don't really do it in Washington anymore for what I think are obvious reasons.
Yeah,
So
I wish they would hold it in Franklin Field with the toast Zamboni, but we can't have nice things.
yeah, they're not going to put it in Franklinville anymore, unfortunately. Some very weird spots going forward. I'm going to talk about where this game's being held going forward. 2023 Gillette Stadium, 2024 FedEx Field,
No, don't do that. Don't do
Damn it,
that.
I just said don't do that.
2025 it's going back to Baltimore, 2026 is going to MetLife, and then 2027
Okay.
back to Philadelphia. So they're making the nice little thing. They shouldn't go to DC. Just don't do that. I say
Don't-
DC.
don't.
I mean Maryland. Don't go to
I don't
Landover.
love them dragging everybody up to Foxborough for no real reason either. Like, if you're gonna do one at the northern end, just play it at not the Meadowlands. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, they want you to ride the whole Acela.
It is. They are basically just like carving out the Acela and going up and down.
Hold it at the Greenbrier, cowards.
Army Navy can only move equipment up and down the Acela for this corridor for this game. They're unable to move their stuff by anything except by Amtrak. There's some weird arcane law we don't know about. They have to use Amtrak for this game.
Yeah,
Why do they have
ex-husband
that?
used to have his like holiday party thing the same night as the Army Navy game, and it was held in Philly for a couple of years in a row. And
Mhm.
I root very, very, very hard for Army in this game now because they tended to buy me the best drinks after the game, and
There
I
you go.
can be bought. So
Okay, good to know.
yeah,
So-
Army has bought my loyalty.
Beth is an Army fan here. Pig Girl, do you have a leaning on Army Navy?
Yeah, I have actually always historically rooted for Navy, because my dad
This
roots for
tracks.
Yeah, yeah. Beth and I are agreed in all things except football. But my dad has always rooted for Navy. We don't have any like significant military history in the family, except for like my great grandfather served in World War II because time frames, right?
Mhm.
But so I think my theory is that my dad roots for Navy because he was a Cowboys fan back in the day, and Roger Staubach went to Navy.
Okay.
But yeah, I have always rooted for Navy in this game.
Kamish?
Kamish, do you have anything?
Yeah, my grandfather was in the Navy. My dad was in the Marines, so that's part of the Navy. And then my uncle Ron was a Navy SEAL, so I lean Navy here. The only time that I really like rooted for Army was when it was like a long streak. I was like, we need to break this streak. But I've always been kind of a Navy fan. And then growing up in New Orleans, we were a huge part of the Navy with like the Higgins boats in World War II. Really, I love this game. There's a lot of fun. I just love it because it's almost low scoring every single time, and every possession is just an absolute struggle. And we're not going to put like a Sickos warning on this game whatsoever because, again, are we against the troops because we say Sickos or whatever? We're not going to do that. There is no Sickos game. The only thing that I get upset about there's the Navy Army game, right? We have FCS playoffs. I know that the Heisman thing is that night. I don't give a crap. Give me a game after the Heisman.
Mhm.
Give me like one of these Incarnate Word at Sacramento State at like 9:30 after your Heisman is done. Give me a game after that. Give me an
Mhm.
FCS playoff game after that. That's all I'm asking for.
Jordan, do you have a rooting interest in this one?
I have two interests here. The first one is my grandpa was in the army. He was in World War II, so I have a slight army bias. The other is that I am biased towards the under in this game because the under is hitting this game for the last 16 years.
I
And
should
there's a
say
record I
before
want to keep going. Yeah.
I should say before I get in enormous amounts of trouble that like my mother's whole side of the family, basically every male relative was in the Navy, and my father and my grandfather fought in Vietnam and World War II respectively in the army, so like I'm a free agent in this one, hence why you can buy me with drinks.
But you were bought. But clearly,
Yeah.
though, you were bought.
Oh, absolutely. No, I was bought.
If I were to join a branch, I'd be joining the Air Force. So I'll just say that. If I were, which I was kind of recruited for them because I have this weird great eyesight, and the Air Force came after me pretty hard.
We don't want.
to
The
get me
three
to
of us
go
don't
there.
know what that's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine being able to see.
I don't know what that's like.
What a world.
Oh my God! All three of you wear glasses.
Yeah, we're all yeah. Since you can't see us, all three of us are sitting here with our glasses, like pushing them up our nose,
No,
pointing and leaning forward at our screen,
it just hit me, and I'm all like with my eyesight. That's like I don't even
bragging
want
you're
to say
the
how
2015
good it is.
eyesight. Fuck off.
Yeah. Like can y'all have glasses? Yeah. Oh my God! I just made some enemies.
My eyeball is like oblong, like a football. I have so much astigmatism, and that like my glasses are have to be so concave.
Oh God!
To get my ball like squished into shape. I'm proud
I
of you
I'm
though.
actually only very slightly nearsighted, but my astigmatism is annoying enough that I can't not wear my glasses for any extended period of time because I get the worst headaches. So, such is life.
Yeah, my eyesight is an absolute disaster. I have glaucoma, and if my optometrist is listening, I definitely don't commute every day in the dark.
Jesus! I'm sorry. I did not like. As soon as I said the Air Force recruited me, and because of my eyesight, and then I looked and I saw everybody wearing glasses
funny.
in the
Perfect.
and I'm like, oh my, like
So
the
perfect.
embarrassment of
Yeah.
me just stepping into that's fun. I'm blushing. I don't know if you could tell on the camera, but
Listen, we all applaud your superpower.
Mhm.
What a world it would be to wake up and be able to see things.
Yeah, it would be very nice to not to have to like reach for a pair of glasses on the side. Like I actually would like that kind of life would be such an amazing life, honestly.
back to the game. No, I'm just trying to cover. Hey, it's actually a coin flip.
Ding!
Ba-doom, ba-doom,
I-
ba-ding.
And so the game is actually bet as a pick'em, which makes sense. Parker has them at 18-18, slight tip towards Army. The over-under is really low. It's at 33. This game will hit the under. It always hits the under. It's one of the best bets in football. If it doesn't, then you have paid money to witness an event that is so astounding that you're happy to pay that money to witness the event.
Mhm.
The bet is worth watching the game.
There's always going to be one play in this game where it's going to be one random person that makes the play to shift the entire game at the end. Like there's just something, these games have been so incredibly close and they're just an awesome battle every single time. Essentially, there's really not many blowouts in this series at all. There was some at some point in time. Lately these games have been like really, really close, like maybe separated by like 2 or 3 points. So they always come down to like almost the last drive. Who's got timeouts? Does somebody try a weird fake punt or something? And somebody, accidentally snaps it to the up back that didn't expect to get it. And somehow he makes the first down and they're able to run out the clock or something crazy like that. So these games are great. I always look forward to these.
Hey, Beth, I'll ask you
Hey,
this
what?
question. Pershing Zone or Navy Band?
I've seen Pershing Zone most recently, and I know 2 people in it right now, so I think I have to say Pershing Zone, or someone will hunt me down.
I was going to say the same thing. I think I know where people in Pershing Zone at this point. Pershing
Yeah.
Zone is the name of the army. Is the nickname of the army band, and Navy Band is the other band. And obviously, whatever. God damn it! Shut up. God damn it! I knew I walked into that one.
Are we like
That
a
was-
split podcast on this one? So we got half Army, half
I know.
Navy here. We are.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are. I think we said 2 Army, 2 Navy. So there we go.
All right.
But
Do
again,
we need to like bet something on this?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, that's.
I don't know. What do you bet? What do you bet for a military game?
I mean, we could try to sing the other team's fight song.
You
I'll
really
do
wanna
that. I'll
make
sing
me
anchors.
sing?
I'll sing anchors away. Hell yeah, I will.
I don't
Sure.
think any of you want to hear me sing, so
I do. I have to actually
I
because
disagree.
you said it. I absolutely want to. See, that makes me want to.
All right,
Yeah,
we're
we'll do.
stuck
I'll do
singing
that.
more.
I'll
Morgan,
sing. I'll sing whatever song wins. Hell
What-
yeah,
what
we'll
army-
join in.
Absolutely.
what song do we have to win if Army wins?
If Army wins,
When the caissons go rolling along.
yeah, over hill,
Army.
over dale, we
Yeah,
will hit
we
the
have hit the dusty trail. Yeah.
So the two non-musical people will have to sing.
If you guys have to sing it, we will absolutely sing it with you. I'll give you
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
We'll absolutely sing it with
Okay.
you, just because
Oh,
it's fun to
gosh,
sing.
all right.
Because it's fun to
All right.
sing.
Yep.
We're singing on the
Absolutely.
podcast. Let's go Navy. I'm just gonna say that. Let's go
yeah,
Navy.
please.
There we go. All of a sudden, huge Navy fans.
Huge Navy fans. Let's go. I was leaning. Now it's full on. Anchors away.
We are also at our D2 and D3 playoff semifinals. In the D2 playoffs, we have West Florida and Ferris State. And we also have Shepherd and Colorado School of Mines. That game, the D2 final, is actually the same day as the Frisco Bowl in North Texas. So I'll be going to that gate, to the D2 game, and then going to the Frisco Bowl afterwards.
I'm so sad that you won't get to see my Red Hawks, but
Yeah.
things happen. Sorry, IUP.
In D3, we have Wartburg, Mount Union. Mount Union being the traditional powerhouse, and then Mary Hardin Baylor and North Central. Mary Hardin Baylor also being the usual powerhouse there too.
Wait, hold on. Let me go back to the Shepherd at Colorado School of Mines game.
Mhm.
So Colorado School of Mines, they beat Angelo State, the Rams, last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they have to play Shepherd, the Rams. So that's
Yeah. You came for the sheep, and now you get the shepherd.
Mhm.
that's right.
I like this.
This is great. Apparently, Shepherd's from West Virginia.
I did not know that.
Wow. Okay.
Didn't
Sure.
know that one.
I just thought it was weird that Colorado School of Mines.
From Shepherdstown, West Virginia.
All right, now I feel dumb.
That's what it says on the 10. Does what it says on the 10.
This is extremely informative.
That's right. We're learning about D2, folks. It is the West Florida Argonauts versus
I knew
the
that.
Fair State Bulldogs. That's kind of simple.
And Fair State's in Michigan. I know that.
Michigan? Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
their hockey team is very good.
You would think with the number of times that I have visited Antietam that I would know that Shepherdstown, West
Oh.
Virginia is a place that has shepherd in it. But nope, apparently not. Sorry, Dad.
So for the D3, let's go. Let's see if we know where these things are. Where is Wartburg College, guys? If I tell you it's a small liberal arts college in
That
the
doesn't
Midwest,
help.
It's
in
in
the
Ohio.
Midwest,
It's in Ohio. It's also. It has to be in Ohio outside of Columbus.
that would be number one, but it's not Ohio. Where's the other? What's if I say it's Lutheran?
Oh,
Lutheran.
Minnesota?
Iowa.
Iowa. Okay.
Iowa's got a bunch of those little tiny schools too. The Wartburg Knights,
Waverly, Iowa. Okay.
Waverly, Iowa.
Very cool.
Mount Union is in Wisconsin.
I feel like that's Wisconsin. Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I think
No, they're in Ohio.
They're in Ohio.
Oh,
Okay.
They're a Methodist school in Ohio. There we go. Mary Hardin Baylor's in Texas. I know that one, and I don't know where North Central College is.
that could be literally
Illinois, I
anywhere.
believe.
Illinois.
Said
There
it-
we go.
Hey, I knew one.
In Naperville, Illinois.
D3
Napier.
rep.
There we go.
North
So we-
Central
Well, I-
College, the ultimate directional school.
I used to see their logo a ton, and every time I saw it, I thought I was looking at NC State.
They used to be Shimer College, and apparently, I don't know. I'll double check to make sure that wasn't a scandal that they got changed to it. I don't know why.
Their website is very NC
The-
Statey because their colors are also like red. It's like the
Mhm.
same shade of red, and
Yep.
the logo looks like NC State. This is This is
Yeah,
weird.
it's kind of like if you take like NC State and like the Cincinnati Reds and sort of mush them together, you get North Central.
Okay, this is a great quote about Shimer College, okay? According to the New York Times, students, quote, shared a love of books and disdain for conventional style of education. Many say they did not have a good high school experience. Apparently, this is like the evergreen of Illinois.
This
All these
isn't
kids-
regular school. This is cool school.
Right. So
We
apparently
don't have
they hold-
lectures. We just scream at each other.
Right. So this ought to be really good. I'm excited for this. I want all these teams to do well. I'm super excited for all these guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
they have a great books program. This explains so much.
Yeah, the Shimer Greats book. Exactly right.
Yes.
It's book club, the college.
See, we're all learning. This is going to be when you know how everyone. Do you guys have those friends that are like, I don't know how you guys do college football. There's 131 teams. Like, how do you do all that? And it feels like every person has the line they draw. Like, there's people like us that'll be like, that like look at college basketball people and go like, guys, there's like 300 fucking teams. Like, I can't do 300 teams. Everyone has their line that they're just like, I can't do past this point. For me, it's like somewhere in the middle of D2 where I'm just like, I can't, guys, I can't collect this much more information. I got a little bit past this point, but I'm out at a certain run.
So you don't want to talk about the NAIA football?
They're at their finals. They're at the finals.
Okay.
Who are the teams? I saw this. No, we're gonna do this now.
You,
said
I'm
it's-
out at D2. Also, you, I know off the top of my head that it's the NAIA finals.
I knew that 'cause
You
they're
liar. You
'cause they're
liar.
NAIA
You give us a couple years of doing this podcast, and we're all going to be screaming at each other about like the first round of the D3 playoffs. Like, can
I
you
can't
believe
wait
that
until
nobody
we
made
start
it out of the
talking
President's Athletic Conference?
This
I
is
can't wait until we start talking about Japanese college football in the off season.
Oh yeah. There's
God,
a lot
it's
of
so
teams.
beautiful.
There's so many teams named Green something in Japanese college football, and I don't know why. Like there's the Green Dolphins, the green was. There's a lot of those.
I wonder how
Continue.
much of that is that the like Japanese word for blue and green is like the same, and so or very similar. I listened to a whole episode of 99% Invisible about this, but basically like their like linguistic conception of the color blue and the color green is different than ours is, and so some of it is like a translation thing, I think. The 99% Invisible episode was specifically about traffic lights, which sounds dumb, was actually super interesting. Would recommend.
That's every episode of 99% Invisible is me going, that sounds dumb. Okay, fine. I'll listen to the next 45 minutes of you talking about this with your sexy voice, Roman Mars. Roman Mars, come on this podcast. Teach me how to sound sexy. NAIA, by the way, is going to be contested between Northwestern from Iowa and Keiser, Keiser from Florida. There you go.
Kaiser.
So we have
Wait.
lots of...
Wait. You said it was Northwestern from Iowa?
Yeah.
That feels weird.
Lots of places have a Northwest.